on the he has a piece over here, a beer inyan hechelos, and as I was reading through this, I realized that I really don't know the order other than livnus asapir on the bottom, and I never really pay that much attention. Run right through it, and Hechel Gadashim at the top. Here he has on number 10 tests, just for our own edification. A piece down at the bottom in the Shefa on page number test. It says Nevara Tehida Rabbeinu the Hechelos Elu Ma Inyanim. So just to go through this for our own sake, he said Nosa Kitzaz Vivir Beinin the Hechelos and his Boyer Bezoyer. It says what the subject the Malchus the Chatzilus Yesh Dara Bebechinas Kisei. So let's go. That's where we're going right now, right? So Malchus the Chatzilus has a throne. I call a throne. So this is the language that you have over there in the Zohar. There's 4 legs and 6, I guess, steps. The Bir Be'etz Chaim explains, the Eitz Chaim explains it. He says, where Sham Memvav Perak Aleph. Shehem Shlosha Bechinas HaKisei, there are 3 different aspects of the Kisei. Bechinos, excuse me. HaKisei Atzmo, there's the throne itself. Va'arba Raglov, and its 4 legs. B'shesha Madregos Elu. V'hinech B'briya Yeshnam Sheva Hechelos. So let's go. Actually, he's going to say, he has said that in all the worlds, the Bria of those worlds is going to be like this. You're going to have Sheva Hechelos, I guess is the Bia of all the worlds. Shisha Hechelos Atachtonim. Shehema Hechelos the Vok. And that goes from Chesed ad Malchus. The Yisod and Malchus, they go together. Heichel Echod Heim. We've seen the different statements in regards to this different times, but that seems to be the consensus of that he's bringing us. Heim bebechinas shisha madregos. These are the 6 levels. That is 6 steps. I'm sorry. V'hacheichel hashvi, the 7th one, Elyon Nikra Heichel Kodegadashim. If you forgot, v'chakolel, and it has within it Arba Spheres, Keser, Chochma, Bina, and Das. Okay, so let me see if they're going to give me to a place where I can remember this. Will help me. And it says like this, the Bria. V'huba b'chinas Arba Ragna Kisa, those are the 4 steps. V'hine Noida, Shamochim Amispashta B'kol Partzov, Boim B'Levashim B'tani, the parts of Shemolov. V'nim shachan the mitzpashin. He says that the tani instead of just the nehi. So he says he nim shachan the mitzpashin bekachbad, the parts of tachton. He wants to say there's 4 pieces there. They're going to go into the kachbad. V'hina al pizeh hamochin the olam abriya v'levashim betani the nukta tzilos. So as we know, the nukta tzilos, which is the malchus of tzilos, they're clothed in there. Shehi parts of ha'elyon, the Bria, which is immediately above Bria. V'hein meirin b'kachbach, the Bria, they shine into the kachbach of Abir shebehechel kodekadashim, the Bria. V'oros hamochim chalalova heim b'bechinas haneshama, the Bria, they're really the concept of the neshama of Bria. Let me see the Bria. Let's see, I lost the place slightly. I had to move. So the Bria, there it is. Behem arba aros and these are the 4 aros, radiances of the mochim mitane de malchus. When they cry kodesh gadashim, and they're called kodesh gadashim. Kodim is, so if you remember this drush, it says kodesh is 1, the gadashim is trey, harish shlosha oros. So there's 3 basic different types of lights. But just a second, he says actually there are 4 because the 3rd one's divided into 2, as we've seen before. Mikal Makam them Shachim B'Shlosha Oros. In any case, as they come down in lights, there are 3 of them, even though one is going to be actually a double. The Shor Hadas Ne'alam B'Nigdad B'Beinachach B'Binach B'Lechein Ein Olam B'Shem. So since Das is in one position, I guess he's saying, no matter what, even though it may be two different types of mochin inside of it, but it's still one light. And that's the reason why. So you see like that. So the three lights themselves are really the root of the kisei. So they're called the kisei hakavod. That's the kisei. So we've mentioned those three levels, though, which represent the three. So hakisei hem shlosha ha'aros hamochem sheyarda b'malchus l'chatzilus l'kacha of the bria. So again, he says the three are again those ha'aros that are coming down. Arba ragla hakisei hem spheres kachba the bria shebehechel kod the gadashim. So then the shisha madregos hem shisha hechelos tachtonu devak the bria. And so now you have 10. V'ha'aros halalo mispashte behechelos kod gadashim to call echad mechameshes partzufim the olam abriya, and they go into all of the 5 partzufim of olam abriya in Ovi. I guess you would see it. The haidach of behechel kod gadashim the arich the bria like that. Over hechel kod gadashim the abba of the bria. So in the case of kodesh the abba the bria, it's in both. V'chein b'kulam b'kol echad mispashetes ha'aras ha'shayachas the osa parts. Okay, it wasn't that illuminating, but I thought it was when I saw it the first time. I want to move over to number Yud Zion, which is on the next page, which is something that we saw, but since we're in Adar, Rishon. So he makes this statement, and my thinking is, I don't know what if you remember, is that most of the tiv, or the shar whatever it is, Gavanos, is dealing with Mordechai, because Mordechai represents the Yesod, the Taurus Yesod of Abba, which extends beyond through Malchus, and is revealed beyond it. But because the question over there, reading through that, is where is Esther? Esther's not really mentioned so much over there. So number 17, I thought we'd just read it again. We did read it yesterday. If it's not Eidach of Sheva Hechele de Zer Anpen, going back now, we know that the Hechelos of Zer Anpen, the Sheva Hechele Nukva de Bria, also the seven, which I think he means the 7, which is 10. And also the 7, well, sure, yeah, because it's 7 Hechelos, but they have 10 spheres. Okay, again. V'sheva hechel is nukva de bria. Heim nekroim sheva na'aros Esther. They're called the 7 na'aros of Esther. And he says, what's the reason for that? The fisha kulam heim bechinas hechelim nukvin be'erika hechelos the abba ve'ima shehem techurim. So he says that these are the female aspects, so that therefore have the shape. Let's read a little bit more. Al av sheba ofen klali hechelos azer anpen heim bechinas dechurim. So if you look at them those two together, one is male, one is female. He said, Makom, and this is the part you need to understand, but Havchanas Klali shall call Olam the Bria. So you have to understand the general idea, Olam Abria. Azaya HaChechelos the Abba Ve'ima the Bria Nikroim the Churim. So there you see that Abba Ve'ima are mashpia into Zun. So in Zun by themselves are Doch Zocher V'Nok. And so, therefore, we see that the Za is the male. But over here, we're saying that though in relationship to where they are being fed from, they're actually female aspect. They're receivers. V'hechelos hazun nikroim nukvin. So the hechelos of Zun, generally speaking, are called female. Or I see this translated as openings. I don't know if that's right. The hechelos anukvim hechelim zun. So these female one, which is to say hechelim of zun, nikroim, those the hechelim of zun together as a group are called the 7 nairos of Esther. So he says, what's the reason? V'chatam nisboyer be'etz chaim, and what does he say? So let's go over again. For example, he says again, he says Hanuk, which is the female, which would be Zocher and Nuk, I think. The Ratzilus Yeredis, the Hechel Kodesh Kadosh, and the Bria V'Nistaris Sham, and is hidden over there. Nikras he b'shem Esther. The fact is, again, he says the ha'ara. Let me see if I got it right. The shanukta atzilus yoredes the heichel kodesh gedash the bria and the nistarisham. So that sounds that she's in the midst of bia. So therefore they're called the 7 heichelos hazon the bria. Sheva nairos Esther. They're called the 7 female components of this hiddenness, I guess, that you're talking about. So the process, I'm just trying to sort it out from my own head, is the process of this light, of the lights coming into the female aspect, which is Zun in this case. The lights coming into Zun actually are Esther. They become hidden in there, and they go into 7 different places, which are called her handmaidens. So he says, number Yod Ches, V'hem Nikraj Shiva Chasrisim, they're also called, this is a little bit harder, they're called the 7 eunuchs, or they don't reproduce, Amishtarshim, as Pnei HaMelech, who serve the face of the king, so in the king's presence. Mishum, the Misarsim Garmaihu, because as they hold themselves back, as if they are eunuchized themselves, min hazivug b'mei hachol, during the weekday. Now, who is he talking about? The Sheva Hatzrisim. He says, V'cheim, that is the 7 Na'aros, are the 7 Sarisim, who will not reproduce during the weekday. V'einu niftachim ela b'yotze de Shabbos, and they only open up at the time of the Yotze de Shabbos. Now, again, when we saw that he used the word Yotzer, he means the Kriya Shema, the Shabbos, Kamoshi is bar, but as the Shem, it's going to go Ein Sham. Let's just look at one more. He says, Shivas HaHechelos, I'm sorry. The 7 Hechelos, the Abba Ve'ima of the Bria, Sheheba Bechinas Dachar Knizkar, which are the idea, the Abba Ve'ima would be the male aspect as they're pouring into Zun. Nikroim Shiva Chasarisim, at that point, they're called the 7 eunuchs.Amisharshim as Pnei HaMelech, that whole phrase there, I'm not sure what the Pnei HaMelech part, how that works, but that's what he said. V'chatam shenigrel sarisim, hilufi shehem bebechinas saris hamanua mezivug. They will not accept the ultimate zivug. I would say the fee should be mehachol ein bechem zivug ve'ein niftachim. He says there's no zivug that takes place in this. Ve'ein niftachim ela b'yom Shabbos. Okay, that's where we're at right now. So there was also something I said down below. I was just trying some of these tivs out. So he said, Mishum, I'm going down to the chef on the bottom, and we'll take a look at number Yud. He said, so he said, the Mishum, the Misarsim Gamaichul Min Zivug B'mei Hachol, they hold themselves back, Ve'ein Niftachim Ela B'yotze the Shabbos, and they only open up on the Yotzer of Shabbos. When you say Kriya Shema by the nighttime, I think he means at Shabbos. B'shem Shemin Sason, he asked this question. Hello, Noida, it's noted like this. The Zivug the Yasos, who Zivug Tamidi, below Hepsik. Now, this first right away, he chose Yasos. He says they're always in a Yichud. V'im came, Ech Kosev Kan Yesh Lechem Zivug Rak B'Shabbos. So we're saying that if you're talking about that, then you're talking about they're always, it's a contradiction. V'tirit, so he answered the Kavazenu Kan Al Heichlos the Abba Ve'im Eloyin. So, okay, so this is telling me something maybe I'm not 100% sure of. So he says that Abba Ve'im Eloyin are not in Yichud all the time. Shebehem HaZivug Lo Tamidi. Rak HaZivug the Yasos who Tamidi. So in other words, that element, which is immediately the Abba Ve'im element that is immediately what you call pouring in to Zun, to Zun, that's the part that's Tamidi. But to get to that stage, it's not necessarily. So let's say, Va'ikar Koshai, so he said, Yesh La'ayin B'zeh, so you have to look into that. The Holocha B'mayri Hocho Me'idin, the Hechelos, the Abba Ve'im, the Olam Abriya, we're talking about them. We're saying that there's no yichud that takes place during the weekday, Rak B'Shabbos. מה שייכס יש לזה עם הזיווג דיאסוס לאצילוס. So exactly how do they piece themselves together? Now, I'm not sure that I got the whole idea there. Let's go on to the next one. So number Yud Aleph said, "Ve'ein niftachim ela biyotze the Shabbos kamo she is boyer be'ezes Hashem v'ayin sham." Zel loshen the Rav Sham, he says the buyer. He says once a buyer inyan elo hachechelos shel yotzer. He said the chakras, the Shabbos. And now he says, I said it was yotzer. Also, he used it for Arvit, but he says they only open up on chakras the Shabbos. Ma inyanim. What's pshat over here? He says da, no, like this. Ki, 1 second. 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry, I did something here. Okay. Here we go. Da. Ki sheva hechelos and irmazim beseder yotzer dimei hachol the chakras. So he says sheva. So we have that in the Rashash Siddur. He starts to show you those. Heim sheva hechelos zer anpin debria. Ubehem nechlalim sheva hechelim denok. No, he said that. So he says, "I'm Nikroim Sheva Na'aros Esther." We said that too. They accompany this light, which is being hidden in Bria. On the B'yom Shabbos, B'yotzer of the chakras. When you get to that, Niftachim Sheva Heichelim Eloyim and Nikroim Heichelim the Shabbos. V'heim Sheva Heichle Abba V'Ibach the Bria, and that's what they are. Those. Let's read again. He says, B'yom Shabbos, B'yotzer the chakras. So you're saying Kriya Shema there. Niftachem Sheva Heichelim Eloyim and Nikrolim Heichelim the Shabbos. They're called the Heichelim the Shabbos, which you said before. Those were the Na'aros of Esther. V'heim Sheva Heichle Abba V'Ima. They're the 7 Heichelings of Abba V'Ima the Bria. V'oz Sheva Heichelech Abazah. So therefore the 7 Heichelings of Zah. The Bria Olim v'nichlalim b'sheva heichele ava v'imach ha'makablem misham tosefes kedusha Shabbos ad kan l'shono. So that's what he said. All of that moves up at that time. Let's see what time we got. It's 6:05. So we have just a few more minutes. Let's see if I can go over, and we'll pick it up the next time. And